Life is not measured by the breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away. Hello, I'm Megan Evans, and I will be telling you about 2 moments that took my breath away, the birth of my children. But don't worry, no gory details. I was told I was having a girl on March 6, 2007. I went to the doctor July 1st, praying that they would induce me. Everyone told me there'd be no way that they would, but the doctor came in, asked me how I was doing. I told her I was ready to have this baby, and she agreed and said she'd see me at the hospital at 6. I was so scared and ecstatic. The only reason I can think that they wanted to induce me is because they didn't want to be on call on the holiday weekend, July 4th. After 14 hours, I wasn't dilating, so the doctors decided to do a C-section. My mom and my husband were allowed in surgery with me. They started surgery at 9:07, and at 9:21, I had a baby. My mom was in the background telling me how beautiful she was, but the baby and doctors weren't making any noises. They had a curtain up, so Wayne and I couldn't see what was going on. Finally, I asked what was wrong, and the doctor said, "It's a boy." There was dead silence. My mom busted out laughing. I busted out crying, saying I didn't have anything for a boy, and Wayne just cried. Connor Ray Evans, not Lillian Ray Evans, was born on July 2nd, 2004 at 9:21. When Wayne took him out in the bassinet cart to show him off to the family, he said, "Well, it's healthy, 6 pounds, 15 ounces, full head of hair, and oh, it's a boy." Nobody believed him, and they even made him take the diaper off. When they came to take the hospital pictures, I had to have them come back because my family was still out shopping for clothes. Connor is now 6 in 1st grade and is involved in t-ball, football, and soccer. He's all boy and a great kid. This brings me to the birth of our 2nd child. I was due in 2 weeks, and it was my last day of work. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I was due in 2 weeks, and it was my last day of work, and I woke up early to try and look as cute as a 9-month pregnant woman could look. I went to work, had my baby shower, and came home. I had just washed my face, put my pajamas on, and pulled my hair back. Connor was watching Shark Tale, and the car wash song by Christina Aguilera came on, so we started dancing. In that moment, my water broke, but I wasn't 100% sure because when I thought your water broke, I thought it was a big gush, and this was just a trickle. I went down to Wayne, told him what was going on, and we packed up our stuff to go to the hospital. When we arrived at the hospital around 9, and Doogie Howser was on call. I swear this doctor was younger than me. Either way, he ran some tests and said that my water had not broke. By this time, I was freaked out. I asked for another doctor, and a 40-year resident came in to see me. She ran some more tests and also agreed that my water had not broke. By this time, I was extremely upset and scared because I knew I wouldn't dilate with Connor, so I didn't know what was going to happen. The hospital sent me home at 2 a.m. on November 17th. By the time I got home, more water was running out, so my mom came over to check on me. When she saw the water, she called the hospital, and they told her to bring me back. At this point, we had already picked Connor back up for my dad, and Wayne didn't believe I was going to have the baby, so he stayed at home with Connor. Back at the hospital, there were new doctors, and they examined me again, ran some tests, and what do you know, my water had broke. Even Doogie Howser came back to view the test results and apologized for the mistake. I called Wayne and told him he had an hour to get here because we were having a baby. We had already decided on another C-section because I recovered so well from the first one and I wanted my tubes tied. So they started prepping me for surgery again. Wayne arrived and Madison was born at 8:33 a.m. on November 17th. But that's when the confusion set in. She wasn't breathing right, so they rushed her to NICU. Wayne went with her and I had to finish my surgery, and I didn't know what was going on. It was horrible. I had no idea if she was okay or not. Finally, after about 2 hours, I was told she'd be okay, but she was born with an pneumothorax. Pneumothorax is when some of the little air pockets in your lungs burst. Some can be serious enough to collapse lungs, and the babies need tubes in their chest. Thank God Madison's were not that bad, but she did have to live under a bubble for 4 days and be tube fed. This was to regulate her oxygen and let her lungs heal. Also, they had my due date wrong, and she was 5 weeks premature, not just 2. After coming out of the bubble, she still had to stay for 3 days so that they could monitor her and she had developed jaundice. The NICU nurses just loved her though. They were used to really small babies and she was 6 pounds and healthy. They would hold her, dress her up, and they all just loved her. After a week in NICU, I was allowed to bring her home. It was the best feeling ever. She is now 3 with no signs that she was a preemie or ever sick. She started soccer this week and absolutely loves it. She's spoiled rotten and total mom's girl. See, even as I'm writing the speech, I'm tearing up, and I hope I'm not crying like that girl Mr. Cross talked about. Life is so short, and time flies by. My babies are now kids and will soon be teenagers. That's the part when their lives that might just be measured by the breaths they take.